Hello, everyone. So tonight I will be giving a presentation on my research project that was done, and it had to do a lot with sports betting and its influence on sports fans. So let's get into that right now, first off. First off, we asked as a research question, we asked participants, we asked, how has the rise of online and in-person sports wagering changed the way professional and college sports are viewed on television? Basically, we know there's been a large impact, a large growth in sports betting over the past few years. This is due to legalization in many different states in the country. So we're trying to get a response as to how it's impacted sports fans and how they have viewed different sporting events. So methodology, we conducted a focus group to help answer a research question. This was the best way to do it. We did it over Zoom, and it was quite easy. One of the best things about it was that the group effect helped participants really bounce off each other in terms of the answers. One person would give an answer, and then another person could chime in, and it was just the best way to do it. And then we got a whole bunch of different responses. I was able to ask follow-up questions in what they were giving to me, so it was definitely a very informative chat and a very good one at that, in my opinion. Also, one of the advantages we've studied this, it's very cost-effective. It's one of the easiest things to do. You don't have to spend money on pretty much anything. You just make a Zoom link and you set up a meeting. It's a very simple methodology, and it was a good one for this particular topic. The data, I picked up on a few themes, three of them. They were comfortability, nervousness, and competitiveness. Now, these are all tied into sports betting and how it is being a sports bettor. We got many different perspectives other than this, but since it's a short presentation, I figured I'd take the most important responses that I got in the focus group for this very presentation. A couple different quotes. A lot of it had to do with risk and stress in terms of where the answers were coming from on the questions. So as far as nervousness goes and competitiveness, those two kind of tie together a little bit throughout the focus group. But one sports bettor happened to tell me in the focus group, he said, if you risk a few dollars, it's not a big deal. But if you risk a lot of money, your eyes will be glued to the TV. In other words, you're really going to want to watch the game that you have money on if there's a lot more money invested. That's so important to a sports bettor. If you have like $2 on it, right, it's not as big of a deal. Maybe to some it is. But for most, they'd say, you know what, and I don't have to watch it. But if you have, like, let's say a ton of money, on a certain game, then you're going to want to watch it just for the sake of your stress, because you'd be going crazy otherwise. That was his view. Sports bettor B, who did tell me that he bets parlays all the time, which is linked wagers into one. He said the part that stressed him out the most was, quote unquote, losing the last game of a parlay, which always stressed him out, meaning he'd win the other wagers in the linked bet, but he would lose the last one, and that loses the entire parlay. So for those who are confused as to the term and terminology there, that's what a parlay is. It's a bunch of linked wagers together. Sports bettor B happened to tell me during the focus group as well that he was the only thing that kept him more comfortable or that relieved his stress was the fact that it wasn't a lot of money wagered. It was like $10 a parlay, and he was able to afford it. Non-sports bettor C in particular said that the level of nerves they got, not being a sports bettor, were mainly from cheering on their friends who bet, because they have so many friends who are sports bettors, and he told me that he would get so emotionally invested rather than monetarily, and that's how he would still cheer on friends. So let's get to the discussion. The data is very similar to our lit review that we studied. So the variety study that we discussed in our lit review, it's in my research report. It ties more sports betting legalization in different states to more people watching sports. This was the most important thing to it. The sports betting legalization, it's grown, and this way it's been more, definitely it's had an impact on the growth. And that's what we got as well in our focus group in terms of our results. We learned that risk is everything, and that sports bettors view it as an entertainment, no matter the risk. There is more intent to watch a sporting event when there is a monetary incentive, meaning when more money is invested, like we talked about, this is what motivates a sports bettor to want to watch, as opposed to just looking at the score on their phone. This data can be useful in real world context as sports betting is only becoming more popular. Obviously, it's been around for decades, but this wide range of sports betting now that people are able to do, now, thanks to legalization in many different states, is having a large effect on the country. And it's safe to say, thanks to this focus group and many other research that has been conducted similar to this, can also be tied to that. The growth of sports betting is impacting, in fact, impacting the way sports fans are viewing the game. And it's actually getting more sports fans involved into sports betting as well. To conclude, we asked, just to reiterate the question, how has the rise of online and in-person sports wagering changed the way professional and college sports are viewed on television? Data showed more intent to watch a sporting event on television when there's always money wagered on it. This is important to know because it always talks about the length to which bettors will go. As you know, one bettor told us not to watch their favorite team play. They'll watch their bet over their favorite team play. And that was noteworthy as well. Limitations, you may notice if you do watch the focus group that there was no sixth person for this focus group, unfortunately, which impacted the sample size. I wish, it could alter the data, but I wish we could have gotten that sixth person. If I were to have them make it up, it would be in the form of an interview, which would not be the same in terms of the group effect of the answers we got in the focus group. So it would not be the same for the data. We would get answers out of this sixth participant, but it would not be in the same format, which would have an impact on our data. Time constraints. We only had nearly a half an hour. People had other things to do, and that was the more unfortunate thing about the focus group itself. Another thing, not many studies have been done on this topic. As we said before, sports betting is only becoming even more popular today. I'm sure there will be more studies done, but over time there will be, but there's not many right now conducted. So that's a major limitation. And that's all I have. So thank you for watching.